The housekeeper. The room was quiet, too quiet. The lights above flickered softly. Captain Ray Hunter opened his eyes slowly. His head hurt, and his body felt heavy, like metal. He tried to move but couldn't. Something or someone was on top of him. A face leaned close. Not human. Big silver eyes. Pale skin with glowing lines. Two small horns on her forehead. Ray's breath caught. He tried to speak, but his voice cracked. Who are you? The alien female didn't answer right away. She pressed her hand against his chest. Her palm glowed. Blue, sending a warm wave into his body. You stopped breathing, she said calmly. I restarted your heart. Ray blinked. You were on top of me? She nodded. Your systems failed. I had no choice. What systems? She stood and moved back. Now Ray could see her full form. She was tall, dressed in a tight, clean uniform. A strange symbol glowed on her chest. She looked like a soldier, but not from Earth. Ray forced himself to sit up. Pain shot through his back, but he ignored it. Where am I? You are safe, she said, in a recovery room. This station is orbiting Tau 9. You were injured in the war. Ray looked at his hands. They were his but not. His skin looked smoother, and small glowing marks ran up his arms. He looked at her again. Why are you here? Hidden orders. Ray Hunter was dreaming. He saw a battlefield covered in ash and smoke. His team was calling his name, but their voices were far away like whispers in a cave. Something pulled him down, deeper into the ground, into darkness. Then, a flash of light. He woke up, heart racing, but he wasn't in bed. He was standing in the hallway outside his room. Barefoot, shaking, holding something in his hand. He looked down. A small metal tool, strange, sharp and alien. Ray had no idea how he got there. He turned and walked back to his room. The door slid open with a soft hiss. Selene was sitting on the floor, legs crossed, eyes closed. She was not sleeping. She was listening. To what? She opened her eyes the moment he stepped in. You moved, she said calmly. No kidding, Ray said, placing the tool on the table. Found myself in the hallway. Don't remember getting up. Selene stood up slowly. The implant maybe. Reaching out. What implant? He snapped. She walked to the table and picked up the metal tool. She held it up to the light. This is not from your room, she said. You were drawn to it. Drawn? Ray asked. Like a magnet? Like a signal, she answered. Your body is connecting to nearby tech. That's part of the project. Ray shook his head. No, I'm done playing science toy. I want answers. I want out. Selene didn't reply. Instead, she walked to the wall near his bed and pressed a small hidden panel. A secret drawer slid open with a soft click. Inside was a black box. She opened it. Ray leaned closer. Inside, the box was a folded paper, real paper, and a small old-style communicator. This wasn't here before, Ray said. Selene handed him the paper. He unfolded it. If he wakes, observe. If he changes, terminate. No signature, no name. Just the message. Ray's hands trembled. This was about me. Selene nodded slowly. It was left by the previous keeper. Ray looked at her. Previous? You mean I had another housekeeper before you? Yes, she said. He disobeyed the order. He let the last subject live too long. The result was not human. Ray backed away. You were sent to kill me. If necessary, Selene said softly. He stared at her, breathing hard. So, you watching me now, waiting to see if I go crazy? Turn into some alien monster? No, she said. I am watching, because I hope you survive. Her voice sounded honest. But Ray didn't trust it. Not yet. He turned and stormed out of the room. Selene didn't stop him. The station was quiet. Too quiet. No other crew, no voices. Just machines humming in the walls. Ray walked down the hallway. He reached the control room. Locked. He used the glowing marks on his arm. They lit up as he touched the door. Click. It opened. Inside were dusty consoles, old monitors, and one working terminal. He stepped forward and turned it on. Static filled the screen. Then a line of code appeared. "Welcome, Unit 47. He froze. "Unit?" He typed. "This is Captain Ray Hunter. Requesting command access." The screen replied, "Access denied. You are property of Project Hybrid." His hands clenched into fists. "Property? No." He slammed the screen. It cracked. Behind him, Seleni's voice came quietly. "They don't see you as a soldier anymore." Ray turned, anger burning in his eyes. "Then I'll remind them." She looked at him calmly. "If you want the truth, you need to go to the lower deck, storage room 9. "What's there?" She looked away. "The files. The recordings. Of all the others." Ray pushed past her and started walking. Behind him, Selene said one last thing. "If you go down there, you won't come back the same." He didn't answer. He had to know. The upgrade. The elevator creaked as it went down. Ray stood still, holding the small communicator he had found earlier. The paper note with the word "terminate" still burned in his mind. "Storage room 9. Selene said the truth was there. The elevator stopped. The doors opened. Darkness at the hallway smelled of dust and metal. Lights flickered above, showing broken wires and cracked walls. This part of the station was old forgotten. He walked slowly. Then he found the door. Storage room 9. It was sealed. Ray reached out. His hand glowed again, soft white lines along his fingers. The lock clicked open like magic. He stepped inside. Rows of metal shelves. Black boxes stacked high. Old computers. And something else. A long mirror on the wall. Strange, he thought. He walked to the nearest computer and turned it on. It booted up with a strange alien logo. Then showed a folder. Project Hybrid. Test logs. His finger hovered. Then clicked. Video 1. Subject 3-4. The screen showed a human man strapped to a bed, shaking. An alien doctor stood over him, whispering in a language Ray didn't know. Suddenly, the man screamed. His body lit up, and sharp spikes pushed through his skin. Blood covered the walls. Video 2. Subject 38. Another human. A woman this time. Her eyes glowed red. She moved too fast, broke the camera before anyone could stop her. Ray turned off the screen. He was breathing hard. What did they do to these people? He looked in the mirror across the room. For a second he didn't recognize himself. His eyes weren't blue anymore. They had a silver glow. The lines on his arms were brighter than before. His muscles looked tighter, stronger. He raised his hand. It felt light but powerful. Something inside him was changing. Then a sound, a voice. Behind him, Selene. You saw the logs. He didn't turn around. How many died? Most, she said. She picked up a folded cloth and began cleaning the table beside him. I am your housekeeper. Housekeeper. He raised an eyebrow. What kind of housekeeper climbs on top of her patient? She didn't smile. I am not a nurse. I was ordered to watch over you. By who? She stopped cleaning for a second. By your command. Ray narrowed his eyes. Something felt wrong. Why would Earth Command assign an alien to him? And why didn't he remember anything after the battlefield? He tried to stand. His legs shook but held. Give me a cum. I need to speak to command. No communication allowed for 72 hours, she said quickly. Orders. Whose orders? She turned to him, her silver eyes steady. I cannot answer that. Ray took a deep breath. Fine, then tell me your name. You may call me Selene. Selene, he repeated. All right. First thing, stay off me. Second, tell me exactly what happened to my body. She walked closer and touched his arm lightly. They saved you, but They changed you too. His stomach turned. Changed me how? She looked him in the eye and said in a soft, serious voice, "You are not just human anymore." Ray stepped back. What the hell does that mean? I do not know the full details, Selene said. But I was told to observe. To make sure. Nothing dangerous awakens. Awakens? He asked, now more angry than scared. You're making it sound like there's a monster inside me. She tilted her head slightly. Not a monster, a weapon. Ray clenched his fists. I didn't agree to this. Nobody told me I'd be a science project. Selene looked at him with something close to pity. You were dying. There was no choice. The war left you broken. Ray turned away, walked to the window. Stars floated in the blackness. Outside, Town 9 glowed in the distance. His mind raced. Then, he noticed something odd in the corner of the room, a small panel with blinking lights. It was half open. He walked toward it. Selene stepped in front of him. Do not touch that. Why? It's just maintenance access. Ray didn't believe her. He shoved past and opened the panel fully. Inside, tucked under wires, was a small data chip. It was labeled in Earth Command symbols. But the warning was written in alien code. He held it up. What is this? Selene looked tense. That's not meant for you. Then who? He demanded. She didn't answer. Ray stepped back. You're hiding something. I want the truth. She took a long breath. You are not the first, Captain. There were others. Most didn't survive the transformation. He froze. What transformation? Her voice became cold. Your body is part machine now, part alien tech. You were chosen for a project called Hybrid Soldier. I was assigned to monitor you. Monitor, he repeated. Or kill me if I go wrong. Selene looked away. That was all the answer. He needed. Ray stared at her. Why me? Her answer made his blood run cold. Because your mind is strong, and your will is hard to break. He didn't speak after that. She went back to cleaning like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just told him he was a weapon in disguise. That night, Ray sat on the bed, holding the data chip in his hand. His eyes burned. He didn't feel like a soldier anymore. He felt like a target, and he knew someone out there was watching, waiting for him to fail. Ray turned to her now. Why are you helping me? You were sent to watch me, to end me. Selene looked away. I saw what they did to the others. They were treated like animals. Ray stepped closer. So what's different about me? You're still human. Inside. The others lost their minds quickly. You're holding on. For how long? Ray asked. Silence. Then Selene stepped forward and took something from her pocket. A small injector. What's that? Ray asked, stepping back. A stabilizer, she said. To slow the changes. He hesitated. Or kill me? If I wanted to kill you, she said, you'd already be dead. Ray stared at her. Then held out his arm. She injected it. A burning feeling spread through his body. His eyes watered. His legs buckled. But then, everything became clear. He stood straight. His thoughts were sharp, focused. He could feel the air moving around him. Hear machines humming deep in the walls. His senses had exploded. What did you do to me? He whispered. You're upgraded now, Selene said. Fully active. Ray turned to the mirror again. His reflection showed a man part human, part weapon, and behind him. Selene looked smaller than before. Not because she had changed, because he had. I need to leave this station, Ray said quietly. Selene's face turned serious. You can't, not yet. They'll detect you the moment you power up the main systems. Then, help me, he said. Help me get out. She paused. Then nodded. There's one way, but it's dangerous. Ray gave a small, cold smile. Everything is dangerous now. She looked at him closely. If we run, They'll come for you. For both of us. Ray turned away from the mirror and looked straight at her. Let them come. Asterisk the escape plan. The lights flickered again. Ray and Celine stood in silence inside. Storage room 9. The videos were still fresh in Ray's mind. Humans turned into monsters. His blood burned with anger and fear. But his body felt stronger than ever. He looked at Celine. You said there's a way to escape. Where? Celine took out a small device from her belt. She pressed a button. A hologram appeared, blue and glowing dot. It showed the station layout. A blinking red dot marked their location. There's an old maintenance shuttle on deck 12, she said. It's hidden in the cargo area, not part of the main systems. If we reach it, we might leave before command notices. Might? Ray asked. Celine nodded. If you use your new energy too early, they'll detect you. They're watching. Ray clenched his jaw. Then we move fast and stay quiet. They left storage room 9 and entered a side tunnel. The walls here were narrow, rusty. Pipes leaked. Steam. This part of the station hadn't been used in years. Ray walked ahead, his steps quiet but firm. Behind him, Celine whispered, They never told me why they chose you. Ray kept walking. Because I volunteered for the war. I was ready to die. She looked down. That's not why. Ray stopped. Then tell me. She hesitated. Your brain. It has a rare pattern. It can hold alien tech. Without losing itself. Ray turned. So I'm just lucky? No, she said. You're rare, valuable. He stared at her. Do you think I'm still human? She looked at his glowing arms, his silver eyes. I think you're more. They kept walking, halfway. To deck 12, Ray noticed something strange. The air grew cold. The lights dimmed. Then a sound clause. On metal. Ray held up a hand, signaling Celine to stop. From the shadows ahead. Something crawled into view. It was tall, twisted, metal skin and human bones. Red eyes. Another test subject, Celine whispered. Subject 41. It didn't die. It hid. The creature sniffed the air, then looked straight at Ray. It growled. Ray's heartbeat slowed. His eyes glowed brighter. The creature charged. Ray didn't run. He stepped forward and punched the ground. Boom. A shockwave blasted outward, knocking the creature into the wall. Celine stared. That power, it's growing. Ray stood, shaking. His hand, I didn't even try. The creature got up, roaring, but now afraid. Ray's voice was calm. Run back into the dark, freak. I'm not your brother. The creature hissed and crawled away fast, disappearing into the vents. Celine looked at him. You could have killed it. Ray looked down. Maybe I didn't want to. They kept moving. Finally they reached deck 12. It was quiet. Too quiet. Celine pointed to a hidden panel in the wall. Ray pulled it open, and there it was. A small, old shuttle, dusty, but still working. Celine climbed inside first and started the systems. Ray stepped in last. He looked back down the hallway. Something didn't feel right. Close the door, Celine said, but Ray didn't move. Then he saw it. A red light blinking at the far end of the hallway. A camera. They had been seen. They know, Ray whispered. They're coming. Celine looked at the screen. A warning appeared. Alert. Subject 47 moving to exit. Intercept in 2:00 PM. She turned to Ray. We're out of time. Ray took the pilot's seat. The controls felt familiar. His hands moved fast. His mind sensed with the ship. I've never flown one of these, he said. But it's flying you, Celine replied. The ship powered up. Engines glowed. Doors closed. Just before launch, Celine looked at him and said, I lied earlier. Ray turned. About what? She looked at him, her face soft. You weren't chosen. You were traded. Ray's heart dropped. Traded? For what? Celine looked down. For peace. The shuttle blasted out into space. Behind them, alarms screamed. Defense systems lit up. Drones launched, but Ray didn't stop. He pushed the ship faster, feeling the stars bend around him. He didn't know where they were going yet, but he knew one thing. He wasn't going to let them turn him into a weapon again. Asterisk. The betrayal. The stars outside the shuttle window looked calm, but Ray Hunter wasn't calm. His mind was racing. Seleni's last words echoed in his head. You were traded. For peace. He sat in silence, staring at her. Selene didn't speak either. Finally, Ray asked, peace with who? Selene kept her eyes on the controls. With the Zorith Empire. The ones we fought in the last war. Ray's face hardened. We lost thousands of soldiers in that war. We fought for Earth. We didn't make deals. She nodded. That's what they told you. Ray stood up, fists clenched. So what am I? A gift? A bribe? No, Selene said. You're proof. A show of power. A message to the Zorith that Earth can make its own monsters now. Ray looked away, jaw tight. And you knew all this? I found out later. She said quietly, after I was assigned to you. And you still followed orders? Ray asked. She looked up at him. Not anymore. The ship beeped. A warning. Energy spike detected. Ship being tracked. Ray moved to the console. We need to hide. There's a spaceport on the edge of the aster belt, Selene said. No. Scanners, no records. We'll be safe there for a while. Ray nodded. The shuttle slipped into dark space. Toward the aster belt. The port was hidden inside an asteroid, lit by old neon signs and powered by black market tech. Strange beings walked its halls. Traders, mercs, and runaways. Ray and Selene stepped out of the shuttle, both wearing long coats. Selene led him to a small room. We can rest here. I'll go find supplies. Ray nodded. I'll check the ship. She left. Ray sat alone in the quiet room, thinking. Something still felt off. Why had she told him the truth now? Why bring him here? His gut said something wasn't right. He walked back to the dock. The ship was still there, but the loading panel was open. He climbed inside. There were voices. He stopped, listened. Selene's voice. But she wasn't alone. A deep voice answered her in a strange language. Then, in broken English, we take him now. Full price, no tricks. Ray's heart stopped. He moved quietly, peeking through the storage wall. Selene stood near a Zorith trader, a tall alien with 4 arms and glowing red eyes. Selene held a small chip in her hand. The same kind used for Galactic credits. Ray stepped out. Full price? He said, voice cold. For what? Selene froze. The Zorith hissed and reached for a weapon. Ray raised his hand. Energy pulsed through his palm. The Zorith flew back, crashing into the wall. Selene stepped forward. Ray, wait. You were going to sell me, Ray said, trembling. You brought me here. For this? I had no choice, she said, breathing fast. They found us. They contacted me. If I didn't agree, they'd kill us both. You could have told me. I didn't want to lose your trust, she whispered. You lost it anyway. He turned to leave, but Selene shouted. They were going to kill my brother. Ray stopped. She stepped forward. He's still alive, a prisoner. They said if I delivered you, they'd release him. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't know what to do. Ray looked at her for a long moment. Then he said, next time. Choose to be honest. He walked away, but as he reached the door, alarms blared across the port. Selene shouted. They betrayed me too, the Zorith. They sent a strike team. Ray turned. A dozen Zorith soldiers stormed the hallway, weapons raised. He raised both hands. His arms glowed. Boom. A blast of pure force knocked 3 of them down. Selene pulled out her weapon and stood beside him. Ray glanced at her. This isn't over, she nodded. I know. They ran through the port, dodging fire, Ray's body moved faster than before, stronger. His vision was sharp. He could see every bullet path before it hit. He wasn't just human anymore. But he wasn't a monster either. Not yet. They reached the shuttle and launched just as the port exploded behind them. Inside the cockpit, Selene collapsed in the co-pilot seat. Ray sat beside her, breathing hard. He didn't speak. Selene finally whispered, "I'll find a way to free my brother without betraying you again. You have my word." Ray stared into space. "I don't want promises," he said. "I want the truth." The trap the stars stretched outside the shuttle like white fire. Ray sat in silence, watching space slide past. His thoughts were loud. Selene had betrayed him, then tried to save him. Could he trust her again? He didn't know, but something else troubled him more. He felt something inside his head. A whisper. It wasn't a voice. Not exactly. It was a feeling, a warning. 2 hours later, the ship dropped out of light speed near a quiet moon with no name. Selene pointed at the small base below. "This is a contact zone, neutral ground. A human trader here says he knows how to track my brother." Ray didn't speak. He just nodded. They landed. The base was cold and empty. A single door slid open as they approached. Inside was a dark room. Only one table, one chair, and one man. The man stood slowly as they entered. He wore a long black coat, half machine, half man. His face was pale, one eye red with a scanner. He smiled when he saw Ray. "Captain Hunter," he said. "Or should I say, Subject 47. Ray froze. "Who are you?" The man bowed slightly. "I am Echo. I worked on the hybrid project. I helped build what you are now." Ray's fists clenched. "Then you're the one I should blame." Echo shook his head. "I didn't come to fight. I came to offer a deal." "No more deals," Ray said. Echo stepped closer. "I know what they did to you. I know how to stop the changes. But I also know something else." He looked at Selene. "She contacted me. Long before this." Ray turned sharply. "What?" Selene's face went pale. I did, but only to find out the truth. About you, about the project." Ray stared at her. "And what did you ask him?" Selene looked away. "I asked if you were dangerous." Echo smiled. "She wanted to know if you would lose your mind like the others." Ray's heart pounded. "And what did you say?" Echo leaned in. "I said no, because you're different." Ray didn't relax. He didn't trust either of them. "Why are you here now?" Ray asked. Echo stepped back and tossed something on the table. "A black cube. This is a data core," Echo said. "It has the full files of the hybrid project, every secret, every lie. You want revenge, Captain? This is your weapon." Ray looked at it, then back at Echo. "Why give it to me?" Echo smiled again. "Because I want you to bring the system down. Burn it all." Ray narrowed his eyes. "And what do you get out of it?" Echo's voice turned cold. "I was part of it. Now I want to destroy it." Selene stepped forward. "We take the cube and leave." Ray didn't move. Then suddenly, a noise. Boomed. The door behind them exploded. Zorith soldiers rushed in, heavily armed, red eyes glowing. Echo didn't react. Ray grabbed Selene and ducked behind the table. Ray shouted, "You led them here." Echo raised his hands. "I didn't. They've been tracking the cube." Ray's blood boiled. His body lit up with energy. Power surged through his arms. He stood. Boom. He hit the floor, sending a shockwave that knocked 3 soldiers out. Selene fired from behind the table, covering Ray. More soldiers rushed in. Ray grabbed the cube and ran. Selene followed. They reached the exit door. Locked. Ray slammed his hand on the panel. Nothing. Too late. They were surrounded. Then a second explosion. The back wall blew open. A small ship hovered outside. Echo's voice came from a speaker. "You want out? Get in now." Ray didn't trust him. But there was no time to argue. He grabbed Selene and jumped. Inside the ship, Echo took the pilot seat. Ray held the cube tightly. Selene sat beside him, breathing hard. Ray didn't speak. He looked down at the cube. It was warm, like it was alive. Echo turned. That cube, it's more than data. It holds the key to every hybrid's mind. Ray looked up. What do you mean? Echo's eyes were serious now. There are others out there, like you, but sleeping. Waiting. That cube can wake them. Ray's heart stopped. How many? Echo smiled darkly. Hundreds. The choice. The ship moved silently through space. Inside, Ray Hunter sat alone, holding the cube in his hands. It pulsed like a heartbeat, soft, steady, alive. He stared at it for a long time. Hundreds of others, like him, waiting, sleeping. He whispered. They turned us into weapons and locked us away. Selene stood behind him. We could wake them. Fight back. Echo sat in the pilot's chair. Or you could destroy it. End the experiment forever. Ray looked up. You said the cube holds their minds. Echo nodded. Their thoughts, memories, powers, all inside. If you open it, they'll wake. If you crush it, they'll never exist again. Selene stepped forward. Ray, what do you want to do? He stood up slowly, cube in hand. I wanted to be a soldier, he said. To protect Earth, not become this. He looked at his glowing arms, his silver eyes. I didn't ask for power, but now I have it. He turned to Selene. You lied to me, but you stayed. She looked down. I'm sorry. He turned to Echo. You helped build this. Then tried to tear it down. Echo said. Nothing. Ray looked at the cube again. It felt heavier now. He walked to the ship's center console and placed it down. Then he said, I'll make my own choice. Not theirs. Not yours. Selene looked at him, confused. What do you mean? Ray reached into his belt and pulled out the communicator chip, the one from the first message he found in the station. He placed it beside the cube. I'm sending a signal, he said. To the galaxy, to every planet, every system. They need to see the truth. Echo's eyes widened. You're going public? Ray nodded. Not to start a war, but to stop another one. He pressed the button. The cube glowed brighter. A soft hum filled the room. Ray stepped back. A voice spoke. Hybrid protocol awakening confirmed. Selene gasped. You activated it? Ray nodded. Not to control them. To give them a choice. 2. Echo stared at him. You understand what you've done? Ray looked out the window at the stars. I'm not just Subject 47, he said. I'm the warning. 1 week later, across the galaxy, news channels buzzed. Human hybrid. Project exposed. Secret army of enhanced soldiers discovered. Earth Command denies involvement. Some hybrids waking, others missing. In the shadows of space, old research stations began to power up. Capsules opened, eyes glowing. Men and women stepped out, confused, afraid, angry. But now they knew they weren't alone. And somewhere, far from Earth, a small ship flew through the dark. Inside, Ray sat in the pilot's seat. Selene beside him. Where to now? She asked. He smiled slightly. To find the others, to help them decide. She smiled back, and they disappeared into the stars.